Okay. All right. All right. So multiple representation. Jayla, you could get the iPad. Yeah. And if you'll, can you just plug it back in later? So when we say multiple representation, what are we talking about when we say that? Easy.
More than one way.
Right. And in this case, that's what it means anytime, right? But in this case, it's talking about we're representing this rule, this pattern, as an algebraic equation, as an input-output table, and on a graph. Okay? So if you want to write that down, when we talk about multiple representation, we're talking about one, algebraic equation, input-output table, because that's what they're going to say. That's the term they're going to use, and a graph. Okay? So if you write that in your notes. Mason, if that needs moved or whatever, you do it.
What?
If it needs adjusted or anything.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so let's just talk about things we know, in case we've forgotten, okay? Who can give me something they know about this representation? Fred,
About the specific thing.
any part of it?
Oh, well, y is always going to depend on x.
Yes,
Y is always
okay,
going to
perfect.
depend
Y is always the dependent variable for the answer, that's correct. Somebody else? Something else? Mellis?
The white box that we was crafting where he wants kibble.
Yes. So where Liam wants kibble, that's what's being done to this x. Like we put in a mystery and he does something, right? Okay. So that's the independent variable, the kibble part of the box, the kibble. All right. What else? What else do you notice about this particular algebraic equation? Why is it called algebraic equation? What do you notice about it? Yep.
Because
It
it has a variable.
has a variable, an unknown, represented by an x. Okay?
It's going to start because 2x is coefficient, which is a multiplication problem, and then there's also plus 3, so it's going to be.
So there's multiply and there's add. Who can remind me if it matters about which way when they're done? Grant.
Usually multiplication first and then
Always.
multiplication and division and then division.
So this has to be done before this has to be done.
Unless the addition's a division.
Unless there's parentheses. Okay? What else? So that's the order that you do it. But it's got to be solved, right? Agree it's got to be solved? Okay, somebody hasn't answered? Somebody has not answered? Remind me the people who need an airhead later, I'll give it to you. Okay, let me call on Angelo. All right, Angelo. To solve this, what are the two things that have to happen to solve it?
You have to make the variable independent.
Okay, you have to isolate the variable. Remember the seesaw with the elephant on it, get everything off that side. And you have to do it to both sides of the balance so it doesn't move. All right? When you're undoing operations, how does that relate to order of operations? Volunteer? Okay, Pramita.
When you undo, it's the opposite of order of operations.
So I do everything in the reverse order. I will shy away from it. I know what you mean. I will shy away from the word opposite because it means the other side of zero. But I'm going to reverse do everything, right? And when I'm isolating, I need to undo by the inverse operation. And I know you already know all this. I'm just reminding you. You should be able to say all of those things. I know when I jog your memory, you're like, oh yeah, but you need to know it enough that you can say it all, right? Okay? So to solve 2x plus 3, I'm going to solve it right here. So I'm going to say y equals 2x plus 3. Now, on that quiz we took, a lot of people still are forgetting to show all the steps. Okay? So the first step, Mellis, to solve 2x plus 3. So if I'm doing order of operations, I would multiply and then add. But if I'm undoing it, what do I do first? I would get rid of the add by subtracting, correct? By subtracting. All right? So when I do that, what do I get? You go ahead and, wait a minute. Do I need to do that? Isn't there a problem here? Anybody see a problem? Yep.
You don't know the answer, so you can't.
We don't have the answer right now. So you're not undoing this. That's not what you're doing right here. Here's when you would undo. You would undo when it says 48 equals 2x plus 1. That's when you do that, right? Okay, look up, please. But that, we don't know what the answer is, so we're not undoing this yet, right? So no, we don't solve that way. How we do solve is we plug in answers, okay? So this is not where you solve, okay? But let's just solve one for the heck of it as a reminder. When I am solving, if I were to say 7 equals 2x plus 1, everybody knows that's a what? Y'all know that's a 3, right? Because 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7, right? We all know that. All right? So in this case, I would say minus 1, easy, minus 1. That becomes 6 equals 2x. Now divide both sides by 2. And that means x is 3, which we knew it was. So that's the kind you solve. You solve equations when you know both sides. I don't know the answer. So if it's y equals something, that's when I need this. So I'm going to put in different scenarios for it, right? So this is when I want to know, oh, so let's say x is this, x is this, x is this, so they're different things, right? These are different, okay? So this is where I'm plugging in, okay? So I'm going to write that down. This is where I solve and I isolate and I undo to both sides to keep balance. All right, on that. Here, this is where I'm going to plug and play. This is plug and play, right? So, do I have to use certain ones? Do I have to use any certain ones on that plug and play? Courtney, do I have to use certain numbers? I think it's good to start with certain numbers, but you don't have to. But I think it's smart to. So I'm going to start with 0. So if x were 0, if x were 1, if x were 2, I'm just going to do this. Now, there's not a rule that I have to do that. I could let this be 7, this could be 10, this could be 13, this could be 99. Why is that going to be more helpful? Mason, why is that going to be more helpful?
So you can see like the order of them.
Right. Because this is in order and I will see the pattern. Okay? Since it's in order, it shows the pattern better. Okay? So that's why to use this. Alright? So, if x is 0, then 2 times 0 is 0, then this is just 3, right? Agree? Alright, if x is 1, y is 5. Go ahead and do the first 7 on your paper, and then let's check them. And by the way, if it's raining at recess time, it's not supposed to be. I will give you time in the room at the end of the day. And I'll try to work it out when you get to the gym, but I don't know if that's possible yet. I just saw that because I looked outside. So, have you noticed that the x's are going up by 1 and the y's are going up by 2? Can someone tell me why? Nat, why?
Well, so the x's are going up by 1 because we chose for them to, and then the y's are going up by 2 because there's the 2x. So when you multiply, they're all multiples of 2. So like 2 times 1 and 2 times 2, it's like a 2 difference.
Yeah. Did I do them right? 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14, 18. Now, is it just a coincidence that that's 7 and 17? Yeah. It is. So, if I were to say to you, every time I get $1, you get $2, then I get 1, you get 2, I get 2, you get 4, I get 3, you get 6. But those numbers aren't working here. So that would have been the case if it were y equals 2x, right? Agreed? If it were y equals 2x, I get $1, you get $2. Or by whatever, right? It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But this is off. This is off because of that part, correct? Right? Does anybody remember what I used basketball and said you're playing to 21 or whatever, and the one person is sorry at playing, you gave them a 3-point head start, right? Correct? So this is 3 points above. So will there ever be a 0-0 in this? Impossible. Never will be a 0-0. Now, could there be a 0-0 here? Yes, because if x is 0, y is 0 because 0 times 2 is 0. Does anybody remember what you call this? This will create what on your graph?
Intercept.
An intercept on y or x?
Y.
Yes. This will create a y intercept. In other words, when x is at the 0, y is already at the 3 because you're giving the y a 3-point head start. Okay? So this plus 3 creates a y intercept from that. When you have something x plus something or minus something, the y-intercept could be below 0 though too. If that had been minus 3, then the y would have started below 3, right? I mean below 0. It'd be minus 3 to start with, okay? Now, I'm going to mark these. Everybody knows I'm graphing. You can't like, if you start going by 2s, you got to stay by 2s, right? If you go by 1s, you got to stay by 1. Fred, if you go by 5s, you got to stay by 5s, right? Do you have to do the same way both ways? I like it better, but you don't have to. Like I can do this one by 1, but I can do that one by 2. Why am I going to do that? I'm making a judgment call. Why? Izzy?
Because the numbers would be different, I guess, because
You're exactly right. Look, this is, I need a range of 0, 7 on the x.
and then
Can I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on there? But on the y, I need from 3 to, that's a bigger range, right? That's 14 range, that's 7 range. Oh, because it's 2 times as much this way, right? Now, is it proportional perfectly? No. And on real grid paper, you want to show the true slope. You need to do that, but you don't have to. But I have to. If I count by 2s, I got to stay by 2s. If I count by 1s, I got to stay by 1s on that thing. Yes.
How would you put 0 on the line graph?
I'll show you in just a second. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say 1. Go ahead and do this on yours. And it would be better to do it on real graph paper so you don't get it crooked, but you get the point. And then over here, I'm going to do 2, 4, 6, 8. Now, doing that, will I get everything on there? Yeah. Now, is there any rule that I got to stop here? No, because remember, this goes on forever. You always have to put that arrow and put that X and Y, but that means that's the Y axis that goes forever up and down, and that's the X axis that goes forever side to side. And when we first talked about integers, remember we talked about vertical and horizontal? That's why you have to talk about those, because on the coordinate plane you've got vertical and horizontal axes. Yep.
I thought we were doing by threes. I thought the Y was by threes.
No, it's going to be by 2s.
Oh.
Because these are odds, but I'll just go in between. Yes. Could I have done it by 3s? Yeah. Could have done it by 5s. Yeah.
Since the origin is that like that in between, would you put the like 0, 3 on the line?
Okay, that's exactly right. So Fred asked about where am I going to put 0? 0 is this right here. Anybody remember what that's called? Angelo. Yeah. It's the origination of the whole thing, the origin. It is the origin. You may remember in our other room that I was standing in the middle, and I said, okay, this is like 0, which in a way kind of is like the middle of it all. Because for as far as I can go negative, I can go positive, right? They don't mean the same thing, but I can go infinity this way and infinity that way, and those are going to be opposites. If I'm at 1 million and negative 1 million, they're exactly the same from 0, so 0 is like the middle. But it is also the middle up and down as it is horizontally. Hey, Miss Mary, y'all almost done.
I mean, it's down to the point that the teachers are out there trying to tell
Gotcha.
us, last year, hurry up.
Yep. So, we're going to quickly graph this, and I want you to share some of your
That's fine, don't.
pictures. Okay. All right. So, that's called the origin, and Fred is like, well, if the X is at 0, then where's the Y? It's literally here. So go ahead and mark that in your notes. It's literally on the Y. Because I didn't go any on the X, did I? I moved no way on the horizontal. But I'm moving up 3 on the vertical. That's why that's the Y-intercept. So, somebody who has not shared. James. If that's 0, 3, then where's my next one going to plot? Come and plot it. Okay, now why did you do that?
There's one right
Step over
here.
here so they can point to it. You got to point like you're on TV.
There's a 1 over here, which is the X on the X-axis, and there's a 5 around right here.
It's exactly halfway between the 4 and 6. Right? Okay. So look on there and pass off to somebody else to come and mark the next one that has not been checked. Quickly. Lincoln. Will you mark the next one? So if I'm on, if you don't know, I'll help you with it. You're not sure. So you always go across this way. So where's your X? At 2, and how much do you go up for your Y? So I'm at 2, and I go up like Battleship to 7. Okay. All right. Look at somebody who's not yellow and call them up. Mason. No, Mason's yellow. Courtney. Courtney. Tell them, Jakes. Thank you. You can just sit on the floor. Thank you. Right there. Okay, there too is fine. All right. So Courtney, we're on this one. So if I'm at 3, and then how much do I go up? And I go to the right because it's positive. I go up because it's positive. Correct? Now, are we starting to see that it's making a linear path? Yeah, it's making a linear path. Okay, Courtney, pick somebody. Of course. Madeline. Mom, Madeline. So Madeline, on the X, you're going to go over 4, and on the Y, you're going to go up 11. All right? Am I still staying in my little hill? Am I still on the little hill? Okay, Madeline, pick another person. Zamara. And Zamara, who's going to be next? Boy or girl? Doesn't matter. All right, come do that. I'm just going to screw this up. So on your X, you're going to go over to 5 and go up to 13. Now, if it's not exactly perfect, it's because we're not on real graph paper. Okay, who else? Did you say Natalia? She said Natalia.
What she says.
Natalia, come on. All right, you're going to go over 6 and up 15. I think you said Ashley. Ashley, come on. All right, and Ashley will finish it out. So I'm going to go over 7 and up to 17. It's all okay. It's not exactly perfect because we're not on graph paper, right? And then again, so let me fix those two. 5 and 13. 6 and 15. Okay? So it's going to literally make a line, and it would be a straight line. But that line goes on forever, right? In both directions. And the reason we call it the intercept is because it crosses the Y not at 0, but at 3, right? That's why you call it that. And can you have an X-intercept? Yes. All right, that's where we'll stop for now. So will you please get your agenda out on your desk for me to sign here. And then Miss Mary is going to tell you about going to Magnet School High School and show you a couple pictures of her kids. So I used to teach at a school named Brick Church Middle, and I taught 2 of her kids there. And then her other 2 students, I was already here. Yes, but I knew them. I still know them. So if you have your agenda out, and you can look up here to
Like you said, my name's Mary. I'll put this in front of it. I've known Mr. Parsons for 25 years, almost for sure. Yeah, probably 27 years, whatever. And I work in the schools. I was a school secretary. Now I work at the Board of Education and I do payroll. So we have a friendship just because we work for the Board of Education, but we also have a friendship because he did teach 2 of my children, as well as just a friendship because he's a great guy, and I'm sure y'all feel that way too. But what I'm going to talk with you today, kind of as a mom, I have 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. And they all went through the magnet system. Now, they did not go to MEGS. 4 times we qualified for MEGS, 4 times we put our name in the lottery, and 4 times we did not get picked for MEGS.
But,
Jennifer and Andrew got to go through Brick Church and have Mr. Parsons for 6th grade, and at 7th grade, we put in for Martin Luther King magnet. And so they started the magnet system at 7th grade at Martin Luther King. So they did 7 through 12 at Martin Luther King. And then I'll tell you the history of Catherine and Logan. They came along a few years later, and they went through the system, and they did not get into MEGS, and so they both went to Head Magnet. I don't know if y'all have friends or cousins across town and know the system, but they both went to Head Magnet for 5th and 6th, and then that feeds to Martin Luther King at 7th, just like y'all feed to Hume Fog at 9th.
but all 4 of them got into MLK,
Yes, all 4 of them went into MLK.
just by luck of the draw.
Well, not by look of the draw. I'm going to defeat you on that
Really?
because they had good grades
Oh.
and good scores. It's
But-
not just luck.
But, what I mean by that is, there are like approximately 1,000 kids who apply every year to get those 175 spots to come into MEGS as 5th graders.
True. Yeah, and I am proof that my kids did not look out like y'all did to be sitting here as 6th grade in MEGS. So be glad of that, because you know you're with a great group of kids, whatever that is. You're with a great group of kids that you're able to do a lot of great things. There's a lot of kids in Nashville that aren't sitting here with a laptop or iPad or whatever on your desk, being able to do the learning in the way that Mr. Parsons is able to teach it to you. Now, the flip side I want to say is, some of you are thinking, oh, MEGS is great, but I get tired of all the homework, and I just want to go home and shoot hoops and not have to read that stupid chapter. So I kind of wanted to go there, both as a mom. My kids, they liked their schools, but they got tired of homework too. So I just want to give you the picture later in life. It's really worth it because you did read that chapter. You've got time to shoot a few hoops, but then go on in and read that chapter. Because as you go through the magnet system, you're getting an education that allows you to do well when you take your college entrance exams. It's called an ACT or an SAT test. That's something you're going to take later. A lot of you will take it at 7th grade just to kind of play. It's called the Duke Tip program, and probably most of the kids in here will get a letter. So you can take it as a 7th grader just to kind of play, and my kids all took it as a 7th grader. I'll tell you what's funny. When Jennifer took it as a 7th grader, they had just had an article in Newsweek magazine talking about SAT scores, and she took the SAT. And she scored higher than the President of the United States when he took his SAT. My daughter at 7th grade, because she had just come from Mr. Parsons' 6th grade class,
That's
and
not
he
why.
had made her so smart that she scored
You're
higher
very smart.
than George Bush.
But,
But the point is you're able to learn here, okay? And I just want you to realize what you're getting with that. Then you're gonna go on to UFOG possibly, and you're gonna have a bunch more hard classes. But they're not gonna be hard because you've had the level of teaching that you got here at MEGS. So you're gonna enjoy it, you're gonna learn, and you're gonna do great on those tests. Then here comes college. A few of you in here may have parents that can just write the check and you can go to any college you want. But some of you in here, maybe like my children, who I didn't make a whole ton of money, I worked for the school system. So that, how are they gonna go to college? Because it does cost a lot. So I kind of want you to realize that as long as you have good grades and you're smart, when you apply to that college, they're gonna say, wow, this kid is smart. Let's go ahead and let them into college because they're ready to do what we need to do. It doesn't matter how much money they have. And you know what? If they don't have a lot of money, we'll give them a scholarship to help them. My Jennifer, my oldest, and as I'm talking, we can
I was
actually
gonna say,
see these
because we're gonna run
around.
out of time, you want me to pass it around?
Yeah, these are my 4 kids. This is Jennifer. This is the first one.
By the way, she's friends with Mr. Andy, our 4-H agent, they're friends.
So this is Jennifer. She's 34 now. But anyway, this is Jennifer and Wiley. The next one, this is Andrew, that Mr. Parsons taught, and his fiance. They're engaged to be married. She has red hair just like Mrs. Parsons. It's beautiful. This is Catherine, who's 24, and she's a social worker. This is Logan, my baby, who's 22. And I'll tell you
My
what all,
cousin taught.
yeah, and I'll tell you what all they do in a minute. The reason I have Catherine here is she was a Sonic car hop, and I put that in there for a reason, I'm fixing to get there. And then this is just them all together, so I put them in plastic, don't just send them around.
Okay.
But anyway, so when you get into high school, it's time to be thinking about college. I don't want y'all stressing about it and thinking, oh, you know, my mom and dad, they work hard every day and they go to work, but they, you know, they just don't have a bunch of money to send me to college. Jennifer, my first one, applied to Vanderbilt University. She actually applied to 7 colleges. She spent time doing those applications and she got in all 7 colleges.
Wow.
Vanderbilt University, which we know is here in Nashville, and it costs a whole lot to go to Vanderbilt University. You know, the doctors and the lawyers send their kids there. I didn't have money like that. She works there, my sister works there, and my mom worked there. And it's a great place, but it costs a lot to go there. Well, Jennifer got in at Vanderbilt, and then they kind of studied our financial situation. They do ask for like your income tax return to kind of know how much money you made. And they said, you know, this child is smart, she's worked hard all those years in magnet school, let's help her go to Vanderbilt. So she got scholarship money. Scholarship money, grant money, they gave her to go to that college. It's not money that she had to pay back. It wasn't loans, it was grants. Jennifer went to a 4-year college and got a degree from Vanderbilt without it being a huge expense to me and my husband. And I'm so grateful to the magnet system to have given her the education that she could. So then, a year and a half later, 2 years later, Andrew comes along. Andrew applies to, I think, 4 different colleges, Vanderbilt being one of them. He actually didn't get in the first try. They did what they call the wait list and said, we really like you, but we just don't have a spot for you because we can only take so many. And then somebody else like dropped out of the list to go somewhere else, and then they took him on the second round. So Andrew started at Vanderbilt. And again, we got some scholarship money because we didn't have a lot of money. And then Andrew, after a couple of years, he kind of changed and he transferred to MTSU, which is Middle Tennessee State University. It's another college here in Tennessee. He actually changed his major, and so he went down there and he got his degree at MTSU. Okay, then we're gonna jump forward like 8, 9 years, and then Catherine comes along. She comes through MLK, she applies, she winds up at ETSU, which is East Tennessee State University, over near Bristol. I don't know if y'all know where it's at. It's a big college, it's a beautiful college. And then a few years later, Logan comes along, and Logan goes to Tennessee Tech at Cookeville. So all of my kids, when they took the ACT test, they all scored well. They were able to do well on their tests. So I just kind of want to tell that little quick story. The other side of that story is I want to say all 4 of my children, when they turned 16, got the wheels, you know, they all got like a used car, you know, nothing fancy, we couldn't afford that, they got a used car, something to drive. They all went and got that part-time job.
Listen to this part. and then we'll
Okay,
go.
and part-time jobs, when you're going to an academic high school, you really have to think about it. You can't go and start working 30, 40 hours a week, because then you're gonna be tired and you can't do your homework. But you can work a small amount, you can work like 20 hours a week. And actually, Jennifer and Andrew both had the same type of part-time job. They worked at the public library. They would get out of school, Jennifer would go to the Old Hickory Branch Library and she would shelve books. The library closes at 8 o'clock at night, so she would get on home to get to bed. And she made part-time money. She worked on Saturdays. Andrew worked at the Madison Branch Library, doing the same thing. It's not a glamorous job, it's not fun, but they were making money and they were putting that money in the bank. When you get those teenage jobs, kids wanna go out, the girls wanna go buy new clothes, the guys wanna get some rims for their car, you save that money for college. Okay, your parents are providing your food and your rent, you take that money and you put it in the bank. Yeah, if you made $100, you got $20 to go buy some clothes or something, but the other 80, leave it in the bank. Because your mom and daddy are taking care of you. So they spent the last 2 years of high school saving money. And then when they started college, in the summers they would work, sometimes at Christmas they could get a quickie job for a month. Because my 2 younger children, they worked at Sonic. Sonic out in Goodlettsville. Catherine was a car hop, and that's the little picture coming around. Logan was a cook, so they both worked at Sonic. So both sets of my kids worked the same type of job.
Oh, that's
Logan has
funny, yeah.
flipped 1 million hamburgers. Logan can cook with the best of them. Catherine can car hop and hopefully get some tips. But all 4 of my kids, when they started school, they had some savings for the part of the college tuition that wasn't paid for with scholarships.
And here's the part about that that's important. When you get out of college, you don't have thousands and thousands of student loan debt that then you have to pay off with a lot more interest on it than if you just save it on the front end and pay as you go. So
Exactly.
it's,
Yeah, so
About
all
being
4 of my kids graduated with a bachelor's with no college debt. Now, I will say Catherine, my 3rd child, the one that's Carpasonic, she became a social worker. And she decided to get her master's degree, which is a degree after a bachelor's, which is some more college. And she bit off a college loan, and she's paying for it, and will be for 10 years. But that was a choice she made, and she's not as in debt as other people.
right.
But at the same time.
But she also has an advanced degree beyond the bachelor's.
She does, and
the
she will,
master's.
and her salary will
It'll make her
advance.
salary pay off.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so I just kinda wanted to talk through that, cause sometimes, you know, you might be sitting home just going, oh, I'm tired of doing this homework, and it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It'll be great. Now, while I'm up here, before Parson sends me home, I wanna tell you 2 stories on him. Cause I worked with him, and this is so fun, cause kids love to find out stuff. So Mr.
What are you
Parsons has,
gonna
you don't know. Mr. Parsons has a great sense of humor. I'm sure y'all have probably seen it, and he likes to pull pranks on people and stuff. So, we worked with a principal that has a great sense of humor and was always wanting to prank Mr. Parsons. So 2 little stories that I just thought of that are totally appropriate to tell.
Okay.
Is Parsons had left for a couple of days, I think he was teaching an in-service across town, or maybe he was out sick, I don't even know where he was. So anyway, Mr. Parsons wasn't in class for 2 days. And normally Mr. Parsons' class is covered in posters, probably makes your class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like this, I know, I hate it, but he has this wonderful class, it's just covered. The kids spent 2 days turning his classroom upside down. They literally took every letter on a bulletin board, turned the B upside down and restapled it up. His entire classroom
Everything.
was upside down when he returned. He was not a happy.
I was furious.
He was, but it didn't hurt anything. You just make sure when you do pranks, don't hurt anything. They didn't hurt anything, but he was a little upset, and it was hilarious for all of us.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh, the other one. We always had student teachers in the school because they would come from college and need to shadow a good teacher. And so our principal would always assign one to Mr. Parsons so they could learn how to be a teacher. Well, the new teacher comes in the school office, and that's where I work, so that's how I was aware of this. And she comes in and meets our principal, and he shakes her hand, and he goes, oh, welcome to Great Church. You're gonna be assigned to James Parsons for your next 6 weeks of teaching. And she's like, okay, and they said, he's in room, whatever your room was.
33.
33, okay. And, but Mr. Hanner, our principal, goes, but I need to tell you something. Mr. Parsons is really, really hard of hearing. He had an accident in childhood, and he's totally deaf in one ear, and the other ear only has about 20% of hearing. So you just have to really speak up and try to be on his right side. And so the teacher's like, oh, okay, that's great, that's fine. So she goes down to the classroom and walks in, hello, Mr. Parsons, how are you?
Hi.
And
Hello.
yeah, and Mr. Parsons is like, oh, welcome to my class, and, you know, he starts to show her what's going on. He's, oh, great, so I'll teach from this other, and so they spend like 30 or 45 minutes with the woman yelling at Mr. Parsons.
And trying to keep getting on to the one side.
Is that
He's
it?
been
Yeah, I mean,
trying to come
I
over here and talk all loud in my ears like, what's this woman's
yeah,
crazy?
I wasn't in the classroom, but in sure enough, in 45 minutes, he comes flying up the hall to the main office, which wasn't very far from me. And one thing goes, what's the deal with this
What's
lady?
wrong with her? Can you move her
Our-
somewhere else?
Our principal just
Yeah.
started rolling laughing. We were just waiting for it. So that's just 2 little stories I wanted to tell you. And it was hilarious.
Well, and the main thing to know is that when your parents are trying to guide you to be responsible and save money, not blow it all like that, that's an example for kids, and it served all 4 of them well and set them up for life really well. And I could tell you as many stories about kids equally as smart who messed around and they didn't have success. Some that went to this school and got into the wrong situations and it didn't turn out well. It's not about just the smarts, it's about how you work. How many times have I said that?
I didn't tell y'all what all my kids do.
Implugable.
Jennifer
And then we do have to
Wiley-
go because the really studies people are after me. We gotta go really studies.
Jennifer and Wiley write cell phone apps. That's what they do. They have their own company. Andrew is a lieutenant in the police force at MTSU who does investigations. Catherine is a licensed clinical social worker. And Logan also writes cell phone apps because his big sister taught him how to. So he works across town at a competing company And he writes cell phone apps for a company.
So, two connections. So Jennifer, her oldest, is friends with Mr. Andy, 4-H, and then you know Live School. They're in the building, Center 615, right by Meg's. So is her daughter Jennifer. She's in the office building near Meg's there.
Yeah, they have office spaces.
Their
They're
office
working from
spaces there.
home right now.
But because it's messed up.
Yeah.
But develops technology.
All right, well, y'all have a good time.
Thank you, Ms. Mary.